Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames. Today we're playing some more Pauper. This is Wildfire, one of my favorite decks to play, and one that I play at least once a month on the channel because it's just so darn good and enjoyable. I haven't played Pauper in over a week, and to my surprise, when I was looking into what's going on with the meta, I found that Spy Combo has overtaken Mono Red for the number of trophies in a single week, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Mono Red is almost always the deck at the top. Rakdos Madness has been in there a little bit recently, but Spy Combo overtaking it is insane. So I figured, what better deck to play than one that can main deck 4 Graveyard Hate pieces with Crypt Incursion, 2 Nile Spellbombs, and a Bojuka Bog. So we are playing Wildfire. This deck uses Cleansing Wildfire on your Indestructible Bridges to ramp into Chrysalis. Refurbished Familiar will have enough affinity ideally to make these 1-drops every time. We have a Nyxborn Hydra. We also have 2 Pulse of Marasas, which can gain us life and act as a little bit of value. Some Lembas for more life, Ichor Wellspring, Fanatical Offering, Eviscerator's Insight for some more card draw, Cast Down, Krark Clan Shamans, and Toxin Analysis for removal, a couple Blood Fountains to bring back our creatures, and a Makeshift Munitions to either be a win con or just ping down a bunch of creatures. Our lands are pretty much the same we always play. 8 bridges, 4 landscapes, 2 Vaults of Whispers, and then 6 basics with just 1 mountain, and a Bojuka Bog. And our sideboard, we have 4 Duress, 2 Breath Weapon, 4 Pyroblast effects, 3 Weather the Storm, and Troublemaker Oof. Nice and simple this time. So ideally, we'll be able to take advantage of our main deck graveyard removal and be able to get some quick wins. Definitely missing a Wildfire here for the ideal start, but we're not going to mulligan this. We are definitely going to keep. Opponent land grants and is in fact playing Spy Combo, I assume. That's the only reason you'd be playing a Dimir Houseguard, as well as Song of the Damned and some of these other cards. Wildling for a Swamp. So we need to find, card draw's not bad. We need to find our Crypt Incursion ideally, because they do play Masked Vandals in their deck, as we can see right here. So just a Spellbomb isn't really going to cut it. I almost thought about putting in 2 Crypt Incursions for that reason. That felt like a little bit overkill, but maybe I'm regretting it now. And then they Farsight, reveal a Troll. Why are there 7 cards here? Oh, Saga Wildling probably got revealed twice, because it kind of does that as a bug sometimes. Vault of Whispers. Not anything we can really do here. I could Fanatical a land, but that seems rough. So I think I'm just playing the Blood Fountain so we can Fanatical next turn. And I think I'm going to play this landscape so I can get green. I will say the Pulse of Marasas can be used against them to stop their combo. If they sacrifice everything for a Dread Return to reanimate a Giant, I can bounce the Giant from their graveyard to hand. And then if they can't kill us that turn, then ideally they'll have no cards left in their deck and they'll mill out. That's just one potential. So we do have a couple more cards we can draw that can maybe get us there. But they could definitely have us dead pretty soon here. Masked Vandal, they're going to take out our bridge. That's annoying for sure. Can't do anything about it. I guess I could have held up Fanatical for that, but we did know they had it. Oh well. Now we don't have red, but I still think we're going to get the Forest. Yeah. And there's the Pulse. Can't use it this turn because of the fact that we lost our land, but we do have Cast Down up. If they only have 3 creatures, we could kill one of them. We have Fanatical to draw if we're surviving this turn. They play a Tribe Elder and a Farsight, and they found a Spy. Swing for 1. We're going to Offering the Blood token. Chrysalis, an Offering, Wildfire. I mean, we're just passing. We have Cast Down, Fanatical, but this Pulse of Marasa we're kind of leaning on. They haven't pulled out 4 land. They've only pulled out 4 lands. Tribe Elder's going to get the 5th. They could have a 6th, but it's also possible. And they're in a Cycle of Generation, so that's going to be all 6 lands. So they're going to go for it, I assume. Then they're going to have a Songs of the Damned, so even if I bounce it, they can. Yeah, that's annoying. Because even if I bounce the thing to their hand, they can just cast it because they're going to have the Songs of the Damned and enough mana to play it. I can Cast Down, but the Songs is going to give them enough mana to cast Houseguard and probably unearth something from the graveyard. Alright, let's just take a look at this graveyard. Cauldron Familiar. Only 1 Dread Return. Dregscape Zombie. 27 creatures in grave. I don't think there's any way I can get out of this with what I have. I'm going to go for the Giant. They'll have 28 creatures, so I can't gain enough life. Bounce this to hand, but again, they have Songs in hand that we know about. I guess we'll Fanatical, but I don't really know what we're going to draw. That's going to get us out of this. Double bridge ain't going to do it. We don't really have a sideboard for them. Weather the Storm actually seems okay, seeing as they only had one Dread Return that we saw, and they were only pinging for about 29, 28 damage, so maybe we can use those to stay ahead of them. Seems unlikely, but we'll give it a try. Take out a couple Shamans and the Munitions. I want to keep the cast downs because they could also just, like, get a troll and get a bunch of guys out. Bojuka Bog's okay. We have a bunch of card draw. I mean, I don't think we're getting rid of this either. We do have one of our pieces of Graveyard Hate. Unfortunately, it's not the one we want. In fact, I maybe should have just played it so that we could have this Blood Fountain up, because we're not going to miss our land drop here. So yeah, we could have just played it. They have an island. Okay. I assume that means they brought in like a Dispel. Some number of Dispels or some sort of counterspells or something. And I assume they're going to have swapped one of their other lands for it, so I don't think they're playing 7 lands. I'm sure they're still on 6. There's a Vandal. Well, that is frustrating. Well, I guess we'll play the Blood Fountain. They cycle another Ent and play a Bauble. Swing for 1, we get a Landscape. So we'll play that and just Wellspring in case we draw Fanatical. In there it is. They have cycled 3 Generous Ents, played 3 Forests. We're just gonna crack the Wellspring looking for more lands. We find a Swamp, and guess we'll crack this Blood. Oh, we don't have to crack it now. We'll just get rid of this Wildfire. It's not doing us a lot of good now. They have a Troll, so that's black mana. Just hard casting a House Guard. Okay. We're gonna pitch this cast down. We do find a Swamp. That's something. We're gonna play the Wellspring. We can't really stop them if they have the combo, but this is the best way to bluff something, leave up the offering on the Wellspring, and have a Landscape to sacrifice to find green. They're gonna attack for 3 and play another House Guard. Alright, interesting. At least their deck's not working quite how it should either. We'll draw another 3. We find a Spell Bomb. Some more lands. So now we can at least play the Spell Bomb. Yeah, they might have a Vandal for it, but we'll take out a handful of creatures, play a Refurb first. There's the Giant. Play a Swamp. Spell Bomb. And we'll just pass. They do have kind of decent attacks here. I could have used 1 or 2 maps, but I didn't really. I wanted to leave up finally getting our green mana and some other stuff, so next turn I'll probably crack the maps to try to have a decent blocker. Songs of the Damned. Do I just crack Spellbomb in response to that? 4 black is a good amount. I guess if I use it in response, they can just conjure his Bauble, so they're not going to lose the Giant. It will be tapped out of black this turn. I think we wait longer, probably. Then they just Dread Return the Giant, which is going to ping for 3, plus they'll just have a 6/5. Crack the Spell Bomb, the Dread Return goes to the grave, and they can put the Giant back on bottom. That's pretty annoying, but I don't think I can deal with the Giant being around right now, so we will crack it. Draw a card, we get a Refurb, and they let it go. Okay, and pass the turn. I could draw 2. I kind of don't want to waste this mana, but I really need green, I think. So let's just get green. Since their plan is beat down, Weather the Storm actually looks better here. We also get a bridge, which is nice. Let's play a Refurb, take one of their last 2 cards, which is a Spy. We'll map onto the Refurb, get a Toxin Analysis. We'll leave that because I'd like another counter, and can gain us some life. I guess we'll leave it still. Play a bridge, and we'll pass. Now we have a blocker, we have a Weather the Storm. Not in the best spot ever, but they also only have 2 cards in hand. They did discard a Spy, so maybe the other one's a Spy, but they probably still have at least 1 land in the deck. Play the Farsight, 2 to the bottom, and they don't reveal. Bauble back the Dread Return. I can't do anything about that. Many Partings. Find their last Swamp. They're going to swing with the House Guards. I'll just block here. They can sack this to regen, but that's fine. They're just going to let it go. And now they have a Spy. So they just did it to get in for 2 damage, which I probably should have blocked. Okay. I mean, I have a Weather the Storm to put me to 19, but chances are they have more than 19 damage, 24 creatures in the grave. They do have another giant. They put back the Dread Return. Gonna be 26 damage, and I have a Weather the Storm for 15 life, so that puts me to 22. The blocking didn't make a difference. They got me. Alright, on the play here. Hand is not amazing, but we're gonna keep it. 2 lands, and we have, I guess we can't actually cast the refurb, so maybe not even a hand worth keeping, but I don't know, so much value. It's a good draw, as long as it doesn't get spell pierced. And yet it did. So it was a bad draw. Got another island, and they're going to pass. We do get a bridge. Kirk doesn't really do much here, so I'm just going to play a refurb. Might just get counterspelled. Maybe I should just be passing. But a mental note, hit a demon inferior. Another mental note, hit a thought scour. That means 1 mana terror. Indeed. Well, I'll play a familiar and a shaman. We're taking 5. They have a serpent. There's the toxin analysis. I mean, they could have a spell pierce, maybe a dispel, but that seems unlikely. I think we just go for it. There's the toxin analysis. They have the dispel. Usually they don't play that main deck, but I guess they do now. That's quite upsetting. Guess we'll just swing for 2, but we're kind of dead now that that's gone. I guess we get 1 more artifact, so I can sack everything. We'll go to 4, sack the landscape, untap, we get a familiar. And that's an artifact. If it resolves, they discard a Delver. We'll attack for 3. They're gonna swing. I'm gonna float a bunch of mana. I'm gonna sacrifice 5 artifacts to wipe the board. And we'll see if they have a counterspell. I'm gonna just try to get back one of my lands with this pulse. That works. We're back to 10. They do just have another terror and a serpent. And we're dead. Look at that. We do get 4 red elemental blasts. We do get 4 blasts and 4 duresses. Take out the crypt, the makeshift, the lembus, the pulse, insight, a little bit of everything. Alright, this hand looks decent. Start with the bridge. We're gonna duress them. The red blast back up. Take something else. They have Serpent, Delver, Annul, Brainstorm, and Dispel. So I think we take the Annul so that we can get the Wellspring through, and then we just try to do the offering when they're tapped out. They cast Delver. They got Brainstorm to set it up. I could just Krark for 1 on the Delver. That crazy? We do have a Chrysalis to block it. Yeah, I guess we don't need to then. I don't want to duress because they have Brainstorm. Alright, we'll just do the Krark anyway. But we'll wait on it. Brainstorm on the end step. They flip the same Dispel we already saw. Get an island. Mental note into Thought Scour. They could play the Cryptic Serpent, but they'd be tapped out. They let it go. Let me duress so that I can hopefully get this refurb through. They just have a Dispel. Okay. Things are looking good then. Refurb, they're going to discard an island. So I have a blocker, plus we're just going to sack this for green now. So they get a Serpent, and that's all they got right now. Oh, they draw Brainstorm. They play their Serpent. We get a cast down. I might be a little greedy and just offering this Wellspring. No, things are going well enough for us. If we just kill this, we'll be in a good spot. Don't get greedy. If we waited and then they had Counterspell and then we couldn't deal with it, it would be problematic. They ponder. Play an island. That could be the one we already know about. They have a Terror and pass. Juka Bog's not bad. We have nothing else to play. I think we'll just do this now. If they have the Dispel or whatever, then we could just Juka Bog it away. They don't. I do want to stave off any further terrors, so I'm just gonna bog them, even though we could play a Wellspring. We're gonna start getting down Chrysalises, and that's pretty good anyway. Swing with the Terror, we're gonna take it. They play an island and Elorian revealed. Not a bad draw. We get a pretty good one too, though, with this refurb. Let's play the Chrysalis. Swing with the familiar. Play another. They discard an island. Brainstorm. Swing with the Terror. We're gonna block and sacrifice. We have another Chrysalis that catches a counter spell. We're We're going to pump up the Shaman with the map. We get a Vault. We're going to play that, play a Wellspring. They have an Annul for it. I'm going to attack for 9. They trade with the Familiar. Have another Lorien revealed. Swing with the Terror. And we'll chump. We have 9 damage here. I guess we'll just swing all out. I'm not expecting them to be able to find 7 damage to deal less. And I'd prefer all of my guys are lethal next turn, so they have to have 3 blockers, one of which is flying, which is pretty much impossible. So they would have to deem Inferior the Refurb, or tap it down with a Sleep of the Dead or something. There's the Sleep. Okay, one more blocker. There's another Terror. Although if I have 5 artifacts, I can just sacrifice them all to wipe the Terrors. We're just drawing lands. Is there any way that it could go poorly if I sacrifice 5 artifacts, wipe the Terrors, and attack for 6? I don't think so. So I think we'll just do that. We'll keep the Refurb since it is a lethal attacker, and we'll attack him. Alright, we got that game. Alright, finally a hand that has a Wildfire early. Of course, on the draw, who knows if we'll be able to use it here. Okay, Duress is pretty good. Tough call, because if I Duress them now, I won't be able to Wildfire next turn. But if they have mana up, I'm not really going to want to Duress them anyway. I could just shoot the Delver, but I don't think I want to do that. I think we're just doing the bridge. If they leave up mana, I might just Wellspring next turn, and then the following turn, I could Duress and Wildfire. They're going to Brainstorm, which means they're not going to have a full counterspell up, but they could have a Spell Piercer and a Null. They flip a Mental Note, play an island, and swing for 3. Another bridge, so I could just Duress and play another bridge this turn. Yeah, actually well, I maybe should have waited, but let's Duress, and then if they counter or don't counter or whatever, I might just blow up the Aberration with a Pyroblast, depending on what they have. They have a Brainstorm. I could counter that, but I might just prefer to kill this, because if they have a way to get rid of this Chrysalis, I could take way too much damage off of this. So I'll let the Brainstorm go. They were able to get rid of every single spell in their hand, so 2 Serpents, Delver, and 2 Islands. They have a Mental Note on top and something else. Probably a spell. So the Delver will flip the following turn. Not so many spells. The Cryptic Serpents are coming out super soon. I don't know. It's kind of a tough call. I think I am going to just Pyro this guy, though. Island, Delver, pass. They might have a counterspell here, but I think it's time to Wildfire regardless, and that goes off. So let's do a Forest and just play a bridge and pass. Now we get Chrysalises coming down. They're going to flip a Mental Note. Yep. Play another island. Good Mental Note and then try to Crypt Serpent. They do. They hit Lorien and Ponder. Serpent only costs 2. We get a bridge. Let's play a Chrysalis and a bridge. So I can block the Aberration and chump the Serpent, which obviously they won't even attack with the insect at that point. We'll just chump, grow the Chrysalis, play another one. There's a bridge. So I think I'm going to play a Wellspring as a bit of a bait. If they have like an Annul, they might want to use that. And then hopefully I could get the Chrysalis through. That didn't work. But I guess we'll just go with the Chrysalis now. And then we can play a Spell Bomb. Yep, they do have the counterspell for that. I think I really want the card draw from the Spell Bomb. Maybe I messed up playing the Wellspring the way I did because I could have had a colored mana up. But I kind of want to blow up their graveyard so they don't get another Serpent down. But I also really need a card draw off of this Spell Bomb. Well, we're definitely playing it. I think we're just going to pass. Because if they have like a Sleep of the Dead that they use on this, I'll want to get it with the Spell Bomb. They thought Scour. Serpent Island is good to see. There is another Terror. I'm going to need a Krark. They can't attack though, because this guy can get big enough to eat any of them, so that's pretty nice. Landscape's better than another land, but still not what you want to be seeing. We'll cycle it. Wildfire. So we're just casting that. Bajuka Bog's not bad, actually. Well, actually, it makes me want to use the Spell Bomb, because Bog, I have other lands to play, but the Spell Bomb, I kind of want to draw the card now. And I can still just hold up a Bog later. Cast Down's not bad, although I can't play it now. Come on, one Chrysalis. Hold them off. Nope, they're swinging with everybody. I have to sack both of these to block this anyway, so I might as well just absorb all the damage. But they're throwing one away, and then I can cast one down next turn, so that's not bad. We're at 11, okay. Just get more lands. We're going to cast down in their upkeep the Serpent, I suppose, because it's bigger at this point. I don't care as much about the ward because I have enough mana. They don't have anything for that either. That's pretty good. They just have an island. Can't really attack. Okay, Red Blast is not bad. I would love a Fanatical Offering. They clearly didn't have a Dispel or anything. They could have drawn one now, but still. They're passing. We're just drawing so many lands. Which will be good when we actually draw some draw spells, but right now it's not great. I guess I could have tried to kill the Terror and then gone on the offensive, but that feels risky. I think I have to Pyro this Lorien. I just really hope we draw something here. Wildfire's something, at least. It's a redraw. Cast down is something. I'm gonna attack. We're gonna use this on the Terror. Give them the chance to double block, but I did not expect them to take it. Do this while they're tapped out. And they only have one land in their grave, not enough to worry about the Bajuka Bog. One land, one spell in their grave. So I guess we're racing now, which stops working the moment they play any other creature. Murmuring Mystic, for example, is pretty bad. I guess we have to Krark, and I mean, we get to draw one card off of it, but also we got to kill this Mystic. Well, we got Eviscerator's Insight, which is pretty good. They're sacrificing a whole bunch of our lands. Sack the Krark. A Wildfire and drew our last forest, so that's pretty amazing. So we might as well just hit their island. We get a Duress. Still think we're racing. I'm not going to Duress because they had a mana floating. I'm not going to Duress there, that is. I'm going to use it now. Although I expect they wouldn't have a lot. A Null and 2 Terrors. Another Null and 2 Terrors. And they have 2 spells engraved so they could play Terrors. I guess I got to Bajuka Bog them. Keep those Terrors off the field. I'm winning the race, so see what happens here. I thought Scour's a decent draw for them, but they hit 2 islands, so that's great for us. And they draw an island, so that's not enough to play a Terror. And unfortunately, we can't play any artifacts, but ideally we just don't draw any. Oh, I should not have gone to combat first. That was a huge mistake, because what if I draw like a Nyxborn Hydra or something? Well, then they would annul it, so that's not great anyway. Okay. Well, regardless, we're going to attack here, and we're going to sacrifice a bridge. I also could have just double Fanatical, potentially. This lets them annul, which I don't want them to do, so let's just cycle this. Blood Fountain lets them annul, which... because if they don't draw null, don't draw an island, don't draw anything, they have to tap out to play a Terror. They have to leave this back. Whereas if I play this, they can annul, get value, and then also leave back up a mana, which is not great. Alright, we're going to map token. Refurbished Familiar. Yeah, we'll keep that. I'm going to play the Forest. And we're going to pass. This is a tough, kind of intense one. They're not going to swing, and they're not going to play a Terror, though. There's the Refurb. If I can just find a removal spell, then I'll be golden. 5. I could play Blood Fountain, use it, and get back a guy. Alright, we're just starting with the Wellspring. I don't expect them to annul this, seeing as they know we have a Refurb, but if they do, that's fine too. Bridge. Alright, we'll play the Familiar. That they're gonna annul. I will attack them, kill their Aberration. Blood Fountain. See if they got another counterspell for that. And they do. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. So these cost 4 each. They still can't play them both. Alright, well, we're going to Eviscerator's Insight while they're tapped out. The Wellspring to draw 3. Play this and pass. Now we have a Nyxborn Hydra. Chrysalis. We're in a pretty good spot. Alright, and we were able to win the match against Terror. Alright, this hand looks quite good, honestly. A little bit of everything. Graveyard Hate, removal, card draw, ramp. No life gain here. And we're against red something. Get a Blood Fountain. Start with a bridge. We're going to Wildfire next turn and then see where we're at. Grab the prize with a Lava Dart. So mono red madness, it looks like. And they swing for 1. Another Wildfire. Yeah, really the only other thing to do would be like cast this down, which if they played a Keswick Flame Breather I might, but not on an Epicure, not at this moment. We're going to get our green. Pass. Makeshift is not really what we need. We would love to find a Pulse of Marasa or a Lembas for those life gain bits. Highway Robbery. And just discard a mountain. That's good. No Fiery Temper here. Swing for 1. We draw Chrysalis. So I want a Wildfire since we don't for sure know that we're going to be able to hit our land drop anyway. And then probably just play a Spell Bomb in case they get like a snacker. But we'll hold up the landscape in case we draw like an untapped land here. But we're going probably another black source. We do get a land, which is nice. Not untapped, but that's not a big deal. We'll play our Spell Bomb. And we're still at 15, so we're in a good spot actually. Unless they can like kill us here, which is possible with a Gutter Snipe and a Lava Dart and a Fire Blast. But seems unlikely. There's a Flame Breather. But as long as we survive here, we can get down to Chrysalis. We can cast down the Flame Breather. We should be good. We should be alright after that. They're going to Faithless Looting into a Fiery Temper. We are taking a lot of damage here. That puts us to 10. Lava Dart, Virtual 8. 7 with the Epic here. I guess a Fire Blast would have us at 2. So, would still love to draw Pulse of Marasa, I must say. I guess double Fire Blast would kill us, but can't really play around that. And they clearly don't have it. Alright, we got to cast down the Flame Breather, because that's dealing the most damage. Yeah, I think it's... Well, I also kind of want to exile the Graveyard because of the Faithless Lootings and the Lava Dart, but I can't do both of those and play a Chrysalis. But if I don't get the Chrysalis down, that Epic here is dealing us a damage. I think we just have to risk the Graveyard one more turn. Well, I could still crack the Spell Bomb, I just wouldn't be drawing a card. Let's start with the Chrysalis. Cast down the Flame Breather. They do Lava Dart in response, put us to 7. We get a bridge. I got 2 Faithless Lootings. Ugh. You know, I think we Spell Bomb them. I mean, they're tapped out. They're not tapped out. I mean, they are tapped out. They only have 3 mana, but if they can find like a Fiery Temper, if they have a land, play that, and they can find a Fiery Temper off the Faithless Looting, or just a Lightning Bolt, and then have a Fire Blast, that kind of kills us. Plus, I think we have enough stuff in our hand that we'll be okay. I think we gotta crack this Spell Bomb for no card draw. I think this gives us the best chance to survive. They do play a Mountain, Highway Robbery, sack a Mountain. They have a Lightning Bolt, and the Fire Blast. And we get Weather the Storms, and I like a couple Duresses. Krark is not necessary. Hydra and Munitions aren't either. Get rid of an Insight for another Duress. Ugh, just 1 land isn't going to cut it. Nor is 0 land. I mean, this one is very anti what they got going on, so I guess we put back... I think we got to get rid of 1 Weather the Storm. We need some card advantage. Double Lembas Weather is pretty good still. No 1-drop from them is nice. Let's play a Lembas. Try to find our next land drop. I mean, Offering's not bad. We could try to find another land with Lembas, and then the following turn, maybe Wellspring Offering if we've hit those lands. Flame Breather, now we need to cast down. Oh, there's the land. So I guess we're just going to play a Wellspring. Cryptic Incursion's not bad, and play a Landscape. Smash to Smithereens the Lembas, yeah. Fortunately, can't crack it in response. They'll swing for 1. We'll sack this for... I think we'll go black. I kind of want a red because we can't currently play a Chrysalis if we draw like another black source. But I kind of want this going on. Cast down's good. Pretty awkward because I kind of want to leave up cast down. I kind of want to leave up Weather the Storm, but I also kind of want to cast this down, but I also kind of want to draw cards. I think we're going to chance it, and I'm going to draw with this Offering. 3 cards is a lot to find a land. There's 1. Very nice. And then we're going to cast this down. And then next turn, we can potentially like Duress, Lembas, Weather the Storm. They didn't even bolt us in response, which is a good sign. Grab the prize with a Mountain is pretty good too. Play a Mountain. Cast into the fire our bridge is kind of annoying. We do have red, though, still. We're going to just Duress them, see what they're working with. Oh, well, we don't take anything, but also they only have a Gutter Snipe. That's pretty good. Just going to play a Lembas. Bridge is slightly tempting just because currently our Cleansing Wildfires don't do anything, but we don't need more lands, and we draw Bojuka Bog anyway. Hit a land drop. There's the Wildfire. I guess we're just gonna cast it on one of their mountains. Duress again. We're going to wait a couple of turns to use that for sure. Now we can just leave up our life gain. They have the Gutter Snipe. We're going to crack our Lembas. Toxin Analysis. I guess we'll Duress them. If they like Bolt and then Fire Blast us in response or something, then that's fine because I also just get to Weather pretty big. Well, just Bolt is kind of annoying. But I will Toxin and then Weather the Storm to gain 12. And I guess I'll just Bojuka Bog. They have enough mana that if they get a Faithless Looting or something, they can probably flash it back right away. I'd just like to hit my land drop. I guess it makes our Crypt Incursion a little worse, but they only had one creature in there, so the chances I'm targeting them are low anyway. Yeah, maybe that was bad, but I don't know. We're at 25 life. They have one card in hand. I think we're in an okay spot anyway. We do get a bridge. Crack our clue. There's a Chrysalis. They get another land. Refurb. Let's see if they got a Fiery Temper. They get Lava Dart us in response. So we'll get to draw a card. Duress, that's not very helpful. Let's map up the Chrysalis. Pulsamaras is a good one to leave. Pulsamaras is a good one to leave on top. And I think we just want to close this out quick as can be. So we're just going to swing with the Chrysalis and crack 2 spawn. We don't really need the mana unless we draw Nyxborn Hydra. We don't really need the chump blockers. I'd rather just have a faster clock. Highway Robbery. Sacking a land. Smash to Smithereens the Familiar. Okay. That is a lot of damage. They don't attack. Might have been a mistake, because I don't think they want to block here. Pulsamarasa is good. We knew about that, obviously. Swing for 5. I could just pulse back the Landscape and cycle it, but I think we'll go for the Refurb. Make him use another removal spell on it. There's the Familiar. They discard to grab the prize. That's a good get. Cast down is a good draw. Attack for 7. And we'll just cast down their guy in their upkeep. Or they're just Fiery Tempering now, so we'll just do it right now. Might as well. We're down to 14. And we got there. Give it another go. Alright. We can get red for the Wildfire, but we don't actually have a bridge for it. We do have a Pulsamarasa. This hand looks pretty slow, not very good, unfortunately. Even though it's good ratio of lands and stuff, but okay. I mean, double pulse, refurb with the Blood Fountain, so if they kill the refurb, we can just keep getting it back. We start with the Bojuka Bog. Second turn, we play Blood Fountain and a bridge, and then we can play the Familiar. Yeah. Only thing is, we're gonna have to probably just get rid of one of the pulses. I could get rid of the Forest, which feels a little greedy, especially if they have a Cast into the Fire for the bridge. Vault of Whispers makes me more susceptible, because they could have Smash and stuff, but it lets me get the Refurb out a turn earlier. It lets me hold the Bojuka Bog, assuming nothing goes wrong. Yeah, let's give it a try. Holding the Bojuka Bog to get a Lava Dart or something is decent. Okay, Flame Breather. Better than a smash, right? Better than a smash right away. Play the Refurb. We're gonna get down the bridge. Or maybe we just Bojuka Bog away a Snacker. I think that's decent. It's not insane value, but it's about the only time I can actually use the Bojuka Bog on a Snacker like that without them having a way to get it back right away, so we'll take it. We still have green on turn 3 if we really want with the Pulse. Faithless Looting. Another Snacker and a Lava Dart. I mean, that's quite the graveyard that I would want a Bojuka Bog. Of course, they would have a Snacker back on the field already. So, tough call. But a Spellbomb off the top would honestly not be bad here. Okay, Wellspring. Yeah, I guess we'll just play that. They did miss their land drop, which is decent. We get a Wildfire, which could be okay next turn. Can't block, so we might as well attack. And we'll play our bridge. Another Flame Breather. Definitely need some cast downs. They're just going to pass. It's a Wellspring. I guess we're going to start with a Cleansing Wildfire. Find a Mountain. Insight. Draw 3 on the end step. Hopefully find... Oop, I forgot to attack. I mean, maybe I just want to block, honestly. They bolt us. That's so much damage. Lava Dart has a Sit of Virtual 9. Yeah, no removal spells for these guys is kind of killing us. Smash to smithereens the vault. Well, I can at least counter that. The Eviscerator's Insight, so I don't take the 3 extra damage. Whether the Storm's a good draw, as is Duress. But they have a Lava Dart for the familiar, an attack for 2, and then double Lava Dart us for lethal, so we're gonna die. This hand is decent. Haunted Mire. We'll just play a bridge. Could be like Gardens. Lembas. Definitely feels like it could be Gardens. We'll play a Lembas of our own. Get rid of the swamp. Campfire definitely makes me think that. Oh, alright. Well, in that case, I think we're just gonna Insight the Lembas here since it's all we got. We won't really need the life gain too much. They're gonna sack their Lembas for life, which I'm not too worried about. Bajuka Bog hitting nothing. And they have a Crypt Rats. Okay. Well, I could just wipe that away with a Krark Clan if I need. Folsom Morass is not bad. There's a Hydra. I could just play a Chrysalis, which I kind of like. They could have Death Touch for it, or honestly, they could just deal it 4 or 5 damage. If they want to take their whole turn to do that, that's fine. They just cast it down. I guess that makes sense. Swing for 1. Take it. A Fanatical Offering away the Campfire. Okay. And they don't have a land up, or a mana up rather, which means they can't Crypt Rats at the moment, which is decent. I could play Chrysalis, Refurb, and Krark. Chrysalis would lose 1 counter. Oh, I only have 2 artifacts, so actually I can't do that unless I want to lose both of these. So I think we'll just play Refurb, and I can hold up Eviscerator's Insight from the grave. They go for a Crypt Rats, or maybe just no matter what, depending. I could also just pull some Marasa back to Chrysalis. We got options. They discard a Snuff Out. I don't hate that. It's not bad against Chrysalis or Hydra. If they tap out again, we can maybe get a Hydra down on a spawn. Ooh, they're gonna map onto the Crypt Rats. That is annoying. Oh, luckily they hit a swamp. Nice. So, not big enough to survive and wipe our board. They have to still sack it to use that. They're just gonna pass. I guess we'll just pulse back this Chrysalis. Now if they want to wipe the board, that's fine, but no sense in wasting that mana or using the Eviscerator's Insight on a Refurb until they try to crack the Crypt Rats on them. Play a bridge. We'll swing for 2. I'm pretty comfortable just waiting around. I know they're a control deck, so they are too, but we are a mid-range deck with a lot of late game. They're going to Crypt Rats for 2. So we're going to Eviscerate his Insight, sack the Familiar. We'll discard a Mountain. And they got another Crypt Rats. Munitions is pretty good at dealing with Crypt Rats. Just going to start with the Cleansing Wildfire. More land is always good in this matchup. Wellspring's great, because it allows me to just throw that at the Crypt Rats. Probably do in their upkeep. Munitions. They're going to try to Crypt Rats for 1. Okay. I mean, it'll just kill itself. That's totally fine. I don't even need to. They got a Thorn of the Black Rose. Not bad. Fanatical Offering. Alright, so I think we can just get down 2 Chrysalises. That seems pretty good. Which is 2 guys they're going to have to deal with, and then I can also Hydra onto a spawn, so that they have to deal with another. We're going to cast down a Chrysalis. Well, let's just Fanatical that guy. Grow the other Chrysalis. Spellbomb's not bad. 2 Crypt Rats are already in their graveyard, so if we can get rid of those permanently, that could be pretty good. They're going to attack with the Thorn. I mean, I'm quite sure this means they're going to, like, wipe the board or something, but it's 1 damage, so I'm really not concerned with it. And I'm also trying to think how they're going to wipe the board other than just a Crypt Rats with Death Touch, which I can respond with by pinging it off. Okay, they're just going to go to end step. Interesting. Another Wildfire. Well, here we are going to play a Blood Fountain. We're going to play a Blood Fountain, and we're going to bestow onto an Eldrazi spawn for, say, 5. Spinning Darkness, the spawn. Okay, that'll work. We're going to sack in response. They don't gain the life. We grow our thing. Play a Spell Bomb. The mana. Oh, maybe I should have mapped onto one of the spawns again, so I'd have another attacker, but so I assume they have a cast down or something for this. No, that actually just goes through. Okay, Well, we are the Monarch now. Look at me. Fanatical offering the Thorn. They are getting desperate. They got a spell bomb of their own. That's fine. Use it right away. We have lethal on board because we have 10 damage from our guys and then a million damage from the makeshift. In fact, even if they kill one of these, I think we have 9 mana and definitely at least 9 artifacts. So, well, that's a blocker for the Chrysalis, but we can throw one thing at the plant. It's not a blocker. They insight their map and pass to us. We're going to makeshift down their plant on the end step. Draw a card with the Wellspring. We also have a million card draw spells, but we're just going to swing for 10. Unless they got a Fog. Cast down. Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure we can still just get him with the makeshift, so we're going to throw that Hydra, put him to 7, and start throwing other stuff. Eldrazi Spawn, Map, Blood Fountain, Land, and Spellbomb, and draw a card. Alright. Took down game 1 against Gardens. We get a bunch of Duresses and some Oofs. Shamans and Toxin don't seem necessary, nor do the Lembuses. And that looks pretty good to me. Alright, this hand is no good. This hand is alright. No black mana, but we do have Wellspring, Oof. I think it seems okay. We'll get rid of this Crypt Incursion, which doesn't seem super necessary in this match, but it could certainly be good if they have any way to bring back their guys with like a Blood Fountain or something. Another Slagwoods Bridge. Hope I don't get oofed. Oh look, I got oofed. Cast down. I hope I don't get oofed again. Double oof would be outrageous. Wellspring. A tap land. We got a munitions. I would have loved an untapped land there. We are having a slow start, especially if they oof us again, and they do. Oof and doof. Alright, Swamp. Twisted Landscape, I'll take it. Let's play a Wellspring. Insight. Swing for 4. They offering an oof away. They oofering. Nailed it. Missed their land drop. Like a loser. It doesn't look amazing, but I am gonna oof this. It's just as good as playing a Wellspring as far as hitting our land drops. Taking away their map is also not insignificant. Seeing as they had to just sack a oof, it feels like they're going to want that for future draw spells, so if they have to sack the other one, it's pretty good, and it's a blocker, so. And we hit our land drop, so everything went pretty decently there. They do just have a Defile, so our guy dies, but what are you going to do? And they have a Colony Garden. No way they have the third oof. Oh, there is a way. They definitely have it, and this is totally fair and normal to have 3 of your sideboard cards in the top 15 cards of your deck. And we are drawing very well, I must admit. So I think we just got to cast one of these down because we're taking too much damage otherwise. We might as well do it now since they could have a sack and draw 2. And we'll sack our landscape for another black mana. What are the chances they'd have a 4th one to get rid of our 4th bridge? Low, right? Crypt Rats. Pull out a Swamp. Okay. Well, we're just trying to stay alive right now, so I'm going to play a Blood Fountain. I'm going to munitions, and I'm going to shoot the Crypt Rats. And if they want to use it for more than 1 damage, they're going to have to ping off their own guy. No, they'll sack it to draw 2. That makes sense. So we're at 6 virtually. I mean, we're not dead yet. Haven't been in a great spot all game, though. Imagine if we had 3 more lands on the battlefield. Spellbomb's fine. Down to 2. Colony Garden. And another Crypt Rats. Bridge. Well, we're going to play a Wellspring. I guess we're going to duress them. And I can shoot down the Crypt Rats with the Wellspring. Double cast down. I'm surprised they haven't played this Thorn when I've been so badly behind. Take off the Crypt Rats now while they don't have a lot of black mana. Chrysalis could get us back into this. They're going to sack the Spellbomb. Then again, they just have a cast down for the first Chrysalis. But the blockers will be good against the oof at the very least. Playing that Thorn. Crypt Incursion can gain us 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 life. Okay. Play a Chrysalis. They're going to cast it down. No, they're just going to draw 2 on the end step. Okay. They're going to swing first with the oof. I assume this means they have a Defile. and want to use that, but I'm happy to send another guy to their graveyard to gain some life. Or maybe they have Death Touch for it. That's fair. No, they do have the Defile. Yeah, they're going to use it now, so it's not actually going to send their guy to the grave. Okay, so I could just Eviscerator's Insight it. It's probably the play. I can make it be a 4/5, but it's still going to be an 0/1 after the Defile, so we'll just sacrifice it. Double Refurb's pretty good. Good shot at taking back the Monarch. Taxes their hand. They only have one cast down. They do have an Avenging Hunter. That's pretty bad for us. We can get a cast down. We'll be in an okay spot. We can double refurb them and then Crypt Incursion so that we won't die to the Hunter. Let's start with the Cleansing Wildfire because we can actually do everything in our hand. Vault of Whispers. Something else to throw. We'll play a Familiar. Play another Familiar. 2 Swamps down. Yeah. I mean, I guess if they forge onto the Hunter, I could throw 4 things at it. 4 lands in response. Seems pretty bad. Crypt Incursion's gaining me 12 right now, puts me to 16. This will be 7, plus the trap is at least 12. Which means I have to find a kill spell for this next turn. But if I throw 4 lands at this, and they have cast down, 3 damage. Unless they can kill me this turn, though, that I can Crypt Incursion. I actually think it might be worth it. We'll be down to... I can't throw all 4 lands because I need a red. I'll save this so I can throw 1, 2, 3, and I'll have to throw a Blood Fountain. I think this is necessary, to be honest. So let's just make it happen. Actually not terrible if they don't have a lot else. Because they could cast one of these down, but if they can't kill both, then we can take the Monarch. They can put us to 1, but then Crypt Incursion is going to gain us 15 off this Hunter and everything else in the grave. So it's not terrible. It's not great for sure. They're going to Eviscerator's Insight the Hunter. I can't really block, because if I block here, they can cast this down. I can't take the Monarch. But I'm not really expecting anything that deals 1 damage. Well, we're certainly hoping they don't have anything that deals 1 damage. In before Festering Gulch, I think is the green-black ping land. I guess they could have another Crypt Rats, but they don't have mana for that right now. They have a Lembas and a Monarch. Alright, so Cleansing Wildfire. Not a terrible draw. They could just have a Defile, so I kind of have to attack with both, which is fine, because then I have the Crypt Incursion. Well, let's start with the Wildfire. Find a red. Blood Fountain. If I attack with 1, and they don't have it, the Defile, I've already used 2, then I can block. I kind of feel like I'm going to be in a race with them, though, right? And I kind of want to win the race, I guess? I don't know. Tough call, but... Oh, we get the initiative. I forgot about that. Which is a land. We haven't played a land this turn. We have 1 basic left. Actually, that lets us play our Blood Fountain, so that's not nothing. Then Monarch. So Forest, and unless I want to leave up 1 for the makeshift munitions, can't ping anything off, so it doesn't really matter. So I think I'd rather just get this down. We draw a bridge. They're going to go to combat, and I'm going to try to gain 15 in before they Crypt Incursion themselves in response to prevent all the life gain. Nope, we go up to 16. Nice. I mean, they have 7 cards and we have 1, so I still think they're going to take this one, probably. But they are also 5 minutes down on clock, and this is only game 2, I believe, which is relevant. Golgari Garden, sack the plant right away. Map onto the Thorn, revealing a Snuff Out, and they get rid of it. Play a Wellspring, and Monarch. Duress is something. Well, let's just kick things off with a Duress. They Defile in response, and they can cast down. Okay, we can Blood Fountain 1 of these back, but not both. Or rather, we can get them both back. We can't play them both this turn. So we do that in a Chrysalis, probably. Which means we have 1 mana to play with, so we might as well throw something at them. There's the cast down. Gonna let that one go. Deal them a damage. Duress. Snuff Out, and Fanatical. I mean, Snuff Out can hit the Chrysalis if we're trying to get that back, but I think we just want to keep their cards down. Chrysalis also just has blockers for these, which I think is relevant. Oh, I didn't even do an artifact count. Luckily, I have this bridge. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to play this Familiar for 1. Discard a Swamp. Get rid of a Fanatical. I mean, they're not insurmountable spot, but they are about to go to the Throne of the Dead 3 next turn, which is pretty good. I can't take and keep the initiative. Jukabog now is not a big deal, although they do get rid of an Eviscerator's Insight. So that's actually a bigger deal than I was letting on. There's the offering. Map onto the oof, revealing an Eviscerator's Insight. Pretty nice one to see whether they bin it or not. Swing for 5, we gotta just take it. They have a troll, okay. Vault of Whispers, that's not gonna do it. I guess I attack, I scry 2. If I find a count, and then I can blood token away this vault. If I can find a removal spell for the troll, then we have blockers from the crystals for these. Oh, plus we draw for the monarch. Scry 2. Wellspring and a Hydra. We need 5 blockers for these, and this is only 4, so that doesn't do it. I guess Wellspring, plus they have a removal spell, so it's really only 3. Hydra is unfortunately not going to do it. Wellspring is not either. Let's blood token away this vault. Get a landscape. Guess we'll cycle that, but we're pretty much at the end of what we're able to do. Oh, I knew I could do this, and I was forgetting about it. I can also just play the Chrysalis for 4. I have 5 left with the spawn. I could block, and then throw 5 things at the troll, which would keep us alive, which I guess I might as well do. They snuff out on the end step. Attack with everybody. We can block. Oh, we can't actually, because we can't use these for mana and the thing to sacrifice. So, yep, they got us. And that was only game 2, so they got 4 minutes-ish left. And hopefully they won't oof us a million times again. We are on the play, so that helps. I'm trying to think if we want any Krarks to like wipe what they had going on. I feel like 1 wouldn't be bad. And they don't really seem to have as much graveyard stuff as I was anticipating. I think Spinning Darkness and Eviscerator's Insight's really all we've seen. No Witch's Cottage or anything like that. Alright, we're on the play, and we got a 1-lander. Not gonna cut it. This one's better. And we might even ship back a land because we got 2 wildfires. Are we that bold? I don't know about that because of the fact that they could just blow up the bridge. They're on a mold of 6. You know what? I think I will. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Play a bridge and pass. There's the Witch's Cottage. Familiar's not bad. We're gonna just use this bridge while we got it. Get a red in case they blow it up. They got a Wellspring. I guess we're gonna Wellspring and Refurb. Or I could Duress. No, let's just Refurb. Maybe I should have Duressed. I wanted the damage, of course, the creature on the field, but the damage is less relevant, and if they only had like 1 Fanatical Offering or something, and I could take that, that'd be pretty good. So maybe should have Duressed there. Also, of course, I wanted to Cleansing Wildfire, but this let me cast 2 spells, and Wildfire only let me cast 1 this turn, although obviously it would let me cast more later, but they Defile in the Bojuka Bog. I think I might oof their Wellspring. Well, we're going to Duress them and see what's going on first, I think. Yeah, another Duress. Defile, Crypt Rats, and oof of their own, but they can't cast it. Yeah. So we get rid of the Defile. Maybe I should just use the Cleansing Wildfire in case they get a Forest. They don't play a lot of untapped green sources, though. Yeah, let's just use this. Take out their Wellspring while they don't have a way to use it. Also gets another attacker down, and they don't have a lot going on right now. They did draw Fanatical, and they have the Spellbomb to use, but at least they have to pay an extra mana. Draw the card. They find a green source. Well, we're gonna Cleansing Wildfire first, use up our bridge while we have it. Find a green. And then I think I might Duress them again. They only have 2 cards we don't know about, but the chances that one of them are a spell is pretty high. There's a cast down. And now if they want to take out our bridge, it's annoying we still have a Wildfire to use, but at least we have all of our colors of mana. And we can just hold this until we get another bridge. Play a Swamp, play the Roof. They could also just take the Vault, yeah, because it's our only black source. Which looks fine, but honestly, I'm happy about it because I could just Wildfire this. They have Crypt Rats as well, of course. And we get a bridge. Well, fair enough. Wildfire. Find our black source. Another Wildfire. Well, do that, play Spellbomb, and pass. They only have 2 minutes on clock. I can't imagine they're going to be able to kill us in time, but there's no reason for us to attack them when they have to be proactive. They cast down the oof. That's not bad. Map onto the Crypt Rats. Find a Fanatical Offering. Nothing they really want to sacrifice to it, though. But they get to attack for 4, and they can ping for 1 as well, without killing either of their guys, which is not bad. We're going to Cleansing Wildfire. Duress. They only have 1 card in hand, so we're just going to cast down the Crypt Rats. They don't even use it. Chrysalis. Let's Duress, see if they have any removal. A bargain, and another Oof. Pretty good for us. We can just hold up Fanatical Offering, Crypt Incursion, etc. Play the Oof for no value. We're going to sack a spawn. Double Refurb, take away their card. Now we get to draw 1. Twisted Landscape. Map token up this Chrysalis. Get a bridge, attack for 4. And they concede. They've had enough. Alright, last round here. We do have Krark Toxin, which isn't bad. We just have some decent artifacts. 2 lands. We're against M. Naga, who usually plays Mono Blue Terror, I believe. Just what it looks like here. So it could be tough to get off this Wildfire. Thought Scour. Oh, Dimir Terror. Okay. Fangs in the bin. That's Counterspell mana. So, kind of tough. I want this Wildfire to go off, but I also want to play the Spell Bomb. I want them both, but I also don't want them to get countered. If I play a Spell Bomb and they counter it, I can't play a Familiar. Then maybe I can get Wildfire off next turn. I think we're going to Spell Bomb, expecting it to get countered. It actually doesn't. Now we're going to Refurb, expecting that to get countered. And that one does. Alright. Well, we have a Spell Bomb on the field. That's not nothing. Cycle a Lorien for an Aquifer. Let's see if they got the Spell Pierce. Cleansing Wildfire. They don't. Very nice. So we get a Forest, plus we get to play our Bridge. Okay, that puts us in a not bad spot. We can Chrysalis next turn. We are letting them potentially get down a Terror or a Gurmag this turn, but I have the Krark Toxin to deal with it, plus we have a Writhing Chrysalis, so I'm not too worried. They Brainstorm. They Gurmag, leave the Unexpected Fangs, and don't leave up Counterspell, but they do leave up 1 blue. Well, I think we're just playing a Chrysalis, since we know that's not going to get countered, and gives us a good chump blocker. And we'll pass. And we'll block. Again, chump blockers, plus we have this Krark Toxin that we know we're going to use at some point, so I don't really need to conserve my ground creatures. Play an island, and they just tap out for a Lorien revealed. Okay. Not terrible for them. Makeshift. I think we're just playing Wellspring and doing our own Lorien of draw 3 here with this Fanatical. And we get a Cleansing Wildfire. Yeah, I might as well use that. More mana next turn. Get a green. Juka Bog ain't bad. Swing for 3. I still want to have this chump blocker to try to help us win the race. Block, sacrifice. They have a Snacker. Another Wildfire. Probably have a counter spell because I want to get this munitions through so I can pick off the Snacker and the Bajuka Bog. They might counterspell a Blood Fountain though. Oh, we also just have a Spell Bomb. Well, we'll just start by swinging. They're gonna block. I'll play a Wildfire. Pulsa Marasa is not bad. Makeshift Munitions. That works. Blood Fountain. That's good too. We want to hit our land drop. We get a little bit of value from this, and if they have a Brainstorm in response, then I can still Spell Bomb, so. But they don't. Seems solid turn to me. They swing for 5, and we're taking it this time. Another Snacker. Tap out for a Lorien revealed. Okay. Well, I'll ping off the Snacker with this Blood token. And yeah, I think I'll just crack the Spell Bomb right now. Get rid of another Snacker. Stave off the terrors longer, and we are using our mana efficiently. Cast down is good. Let's use a Wellspring. Kind of want to find another Chrysalis. We'll pump this guy up. Cast down. I mean, I don't really need another one, but I also don't really need to get rid of that, I don't think. I guess we'll Pulsa Marasa back the Familiar. A little bit of value while they're tapped out. And kill the Angler. I did leave a cast down on top. I could also shuffle it away with the Landscape if I want to find another black source, which I don't think I need to do, so if I want that cast down, I just won't. But if they did get a Terror down here, I might. Thought Scour, they mill a terror in an island. I like that. Mental Note, they hit a snacker. Very lucky of them. But I can just kill off the snacker with the makeshift, and they get a cast down in the bin too, so they're at 3 spells. Not as lucky. Another Thought Scour, now they're at 6 spells. An island, there's a terror, and they're passing. I guess I just have lethal if I attack them with these guys, and they don't block, but they could have a, what's it called? Unexpected Fangs plus Counterspell. I think I'll put down a Krark as a little bit of insurance then. We'll swing with both. They block. There's the Fangs. Let's try the cast down, but they know we have it. Oh, well, it worked anyway. I guess they just had to go for it. In that case, we don't even have anything to get back with the Blood Fountain, but we're just going to pass. All right, we win game 1. Not bad. Of course, we get our Duresses and our Pyros. We got Lembas, a couple Krarks. Don't really need the Pulses or the Crypt Incursion. Although them milling themselves, we can get a lot of life, but life is not super relevant here. I guess Makeshift is nice against the Snackers because we can just make sure they're always in the bin. Yeah, I guess having one card that kind of hoses 4 of their cards is not bad. Don't really want to get rid of anything else though. Toxin plus Krark is decent, but maybe just one Krark is fine by itself, just as an emergency button, as we've seen before. Alright, hand looks solid. 2 lands, some interaction, some card draw. Opponent mulls to 6. Play a couple of tap lands. Okay, I could just Wellspring here, but they could Counterspell. I could just Duress with Pyroblast backup. They're at 5 cards. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's see what they got going on. They Brainstorm in response. Well, this didn't work out. When I didn't counter it before, it didn't work out. Great. They had nothing. I guess I'll just counter that. Then if they have like a Spell Pierce, it's not great, but it feels like they might have just Spell Pierced anyway. But I guess if they only have like one other spell, then Brainstorm has the chance of like dodging it entirely. I don't know. Well, they got another Brainstorm. What are you gonna do? The 2 cards on top, which means I probably just want to take this Thought Scour because they can clear them and put them in the yard, and they could get a fast Terror. Whereas if they shuffle them away and get a land, I'm not as worried about that. Yeah, I'll just take the Thought Scour. Or it's obviously possible they just kept their best cards on top, and so, you know, they wanted to keep them so they didn't get discarded, but, you know, whatever. Alright, we'll just play a Wellspring and play a Bridge. We can play a Terror for 3 here. They would like, and they do. Landscape's not bad, but it doesn't get us a Chrysalis this turn. Let's just draw 3. Familiar's not bad. Okay. Well, we can just play a Bridge, play a Familiar, start playing some Chrysalises. I think that'll be pretty good. They get rid of the Blue Blast, so we don't know what they have. Swing for 5, we're going to take it. Ooh, another Refurbished Familiar. We're going to swing for 2 and play that Refurb. Another Blue Elemental Blast, getting a lot of those. We're going to play a Chrysalis, pass to them. We're going to chump, and they're going to just pass it back to us. We'll play another Landscape, and play a Chrysalis. Now that we got 2 of them, let's crack a couple Spawn for a Wellspring. And we can swing for 9. I want to keep this Spawn to block and sacrifice so that they can't gain any life from an Unexpected Fangs. And we win. We ended up 3-2. Certainly not the best showing of Jund Wildfire we've ever had. I really would have liked to see some Crypt Incursions and some more Spell Bombs in our match against Spy Combo. And this is always a deck that's a little bit soft to red burn decks. But we are playing 2 Lembas, 2 Pulse, a Crypt Incursion, and a Toxin Analysis in our main deck. That's 6 life gain spells, not to mention the Weather the Storms. So, you know, definitely got a little bit unlucky in a couple of those matches, but still a very, very sweet deck. When we land a couple Chrysalises, it's almost impossible for our opponent to do anything. We get to see Makeshift Munitions do some great work this league, and then Krark Clan Shaman is always amazing. We didn't really get to Death Touch it at all, but we did just get to sacrifice a whole bunch of our artifacts to be able to wipe the board a couple of times. Sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't. But thank you all for watching, and thank you to my patrons, including my $10 patrons, Howard Granger, Laars, JMW, Luca I, and Rafa Rodriguez. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.